I want to make sure you got there because I don't want anybody to miss what's getting ready to happen. Now the Lord saw that Leah was unloved, and he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. Leah conceived and bore a son and named him Reuben, for she said, because the Lord has seen my affliction, surely now my husband will love me. Then she conceived again and bore a son and said, because the Lord has heard that I am unloved, he has therefore given me this son also. So she named him Simeon. She conceived again and bore a son and said, now this time my husband will be attached to me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore he was named Levi. Verse 35. And she conceived again and bore a son and said, this time I will praise the Lord. Therefore she named him Judah. Then she stopped bearing.
All right now.
Let's talk this morning from the subject, I'm broken, but I'm blessed. I'm broken, but I'm blessed. Beloved, too many times in our lives, we will not confess or admit that we have some breaks, some fractures in our lives. The truth of the matter is, Sister Green, we have a tendency of putting a Band-Aid on it and covering it up and acting like it doesn't even exist. We try to ignore the fact that there are broken pieces in our families, broken pieces in our individual constructs. But the reality of it is the break didn't start with you. For Genesis, it paints this picture for us as we look in the petri dish of the development of the family. We see that at the very inception of the God-given, God-blessed family, there's issues. Well, I wish I had some Bible students with me this morning. Here, the descendants of Abraham, the one who God has declared that he would be a blessing, and from him all the nations of the world would be blessed. I mean, in this covenant with God, all that we see is good and blessings and prosperity that God has promised not only to Abraham, but also to Abraham's descendants. As you read this developing passage in Genesis, as we look at the story of Abraham, here Abraham is an old man and his wife is an old woman, and they have no children, but God blessed him and allowed Sarah to bring forth a son by the name of Isaac. This is the beginning of the generations of Abraham. And I know there's some other sons, but I got to deal with the lineage here, if y'all will, this morning. Isaac is born, and Isaac comes into this world, grows up, and becomes this handsome young man, the gift of God, and God tells Abraham to sacrifice him. Now, wait a minute, God, it's a contradiction. You said that you were going to bless me and my descendants would be as the grains of sand on the beach and the stars in the sky. You've given me this blessing in this son by the name of Isaac, and now you're telling me to take him up on a mountain and sacrifice him. Okay, I will. He takes him up and he begins to offer up Isaac, and just before he plunges the knife in his heart, God stops him and says, look, there's a ram in the bush. Isaac moves on and marries Rebekah, and between Isaac and Rebekah, they bring into the world 2 boys, Jacob and Esau. You got Abraham and you have Isaac. Now you have Jacob and Esau. And this birth of these twins who fought in the womb come out fighting. Matter of fact, the Bible tells us that when Esau is born first, Jacob is holding on to his ankle. You ain't going nowhere without me. He comes into the world, and these young men grow up, and these young men become men. But Rebekah loves Jacob. Even though he's the second born, she loves Jacob. And she conceives a plan that that would allow Jacob to steal his brother's birthright. This is the family, y'all. And the plan works. They fool their father. And he gives the birthright blessing to Jacob instead of Esau. And rightfully so, beloved, Esau gets mad and he goes after his brother. I'm painting a picture. Just come on, follow with me. He goes after his brother. Jacob flees from his brother and escapes to his mother's brother's house, his uncle, Uncle Laban. And he's down there hanging out with in the area where Laban is supposed to be. He's looking for him, and he goes to this well where they used to water the sheep, and he sees this beautiful woman. And he really doesn't see her, but he sees her eyes. And her eyes captivate him. And at that moment, he falls in love with her, and he greets her with a kiss. And he cries out that I'm your relative because she is Laban's daughter. And he says, I'm looking for my uncle. And she said, that's my father. Come on. And she runs home and tells her father that his nephew has come. And he comes in, as it's a custom with the Jewish family. When a visitor, a stranger or a family member comes into your house, they're allowed to stay there for a few weeks, with no question, no compensation, no rent. You just greet them. And Laban finally comes to him and says, listen, you've been here a while. And you've been working. Can I compensate you for the work that you've done? Let me paraphrase this and tell you what Jacob says. Yes, you can. By the way, you have a beautiful daughter. No, you have two, but you have a beautiful daughter that I'm in love with. Her name is Rachel, and I'm willing to work 7 years for her hand in marriage. Laban agrees to the deal. He said, it's better that you have it than somebody else. I'll read the text. He worked 7 years, and he comes to his uncle and he says, my time is done. Give me my wife. I work for her. Give what is owed to me, what I deserve, what I asked for, and you agreed to. And the problem here, beloved, is Rachel is not the oldest. She's the younger. There's an older sister by the name of Leah who is not as pretty as her sister. Her eyes doesn't captivate Jacob like Rachel's eyes captivated him. When he declares unto Laban, give me what belongs to me, Laban begins to have the wedding ceremony. And in the Jewish custom, the wedding ceremony is a week long. Hello, somebody. You get married at the beginning of the week and you celebrate all week long. And he calls the servants and they have a great feast and the wedding ceremony takes place. And at night, he sends in to Jacob, not Rachel, the one that he loves, not the baby girl, but he sends to him Leah, the older, unattractive daughter. And he lays with her. He consummates the marriage. But when a son comes up, Jacob realized, you ain't the one. Now, the custom, and I had to do some research on this, the Jewish custom is that when a young man comes calling on a Jewish girl, he goes and meets with the father, and the deal is cut with the father without the girl being present. So, watch this. Laban, after being confronted by Jacob, you tricked me. Get that? The trickster being tricked. You tricked me. You gave me the wrong one. And he simply says unto Jacob, listen, it's not right for me to get a baby girl away way before the elders. So I gave you the elders. Because that's right, that's our custom. Now you would have thought he would have said something about this in the beginning, when the deal was cut in the first place. Sometimes we don't get all the details of the deal because we don't always ask all of the right questions. We duped in the deal when we find out, maybe this wasn't what I agreed upon. And here another deal is made for him to work another 7 years. But the agreement says if you finish out the week with Leah, then I will give you Rachel, but you're still going to have to work 7 more years. He said, that's all right, because I want her. I love her. Now I said, the custom is that when the man and the father come together and make the deal, that the daughter's not there. So for all intents purposes, when Leah is going through the ceremony, she thinks, Sister Green, that she's wanted, that she's loved. Only to find out the next morning,
All right now.
I didn't want you. I don't love you.
Teach.
I didn't pick you.
Teach.
But I'm stuck with you. I'm in a marriage where I'm not wanted, I'm not loved, and the truth of the matter is I'm hated. She's not wanted, she's not loved, and she's hated. Why is she hated? Because she's the visible manifestation of what I didn't choose.
Teach.
Some of us, our families are dealing with stuff that we didn't choose. We inherited some stuff. And we got to live with it. And we're broken because of it. Preaching here, Pastor. We're broken. We're in situations where we're unwanted, unloved, and downright hated. And I come to understand as I wrestle with this text, it is not necessarily family and husbands and wives. Some of us are in some jobs that we don't want to be in. But if we didn't have them, we couldn't be. With some relationships with some supervisors and some managers that we can't stand. We're stuck with it. We got to live with it.
All right now.
There's a whole lot of hurt and pain in this family. We got Jacob that's mad because he got the woman that he didn't want, didn't love, and hated her. And then had to work 7 more years for the one that he really wanted and really loved. But to compound the issues, the one that is unloved, unwanted, and hated is the one God blesses.
All right now.
Somebody just got a message of hope right there. It's right there. It's right there in the text. Verse 31. Now the Lord saw that Leah was unloved. And he what? Opened her womb. See, the first point I want you to understand in this text, I'm broken but I'm blessed, is that you need to understand that God sees your brokenness. Somebody gonna shout in here. You're not the only one that knows what you're going through. You're not the only one that cries yourself to sleep at night. There is a God that created you, that's watching you. He knows your trouble, he knows your trial, he knows your pain, and he knows that there's some folks that don't love you, that don't want you, and hate you. Verse 31 says, he blesses her and opens up her womb. This is where it gets interesting. I got 2 wives. One I love, and one I can't stand. I don't love, and the truth of the matter is, I hate her. But there's a promise on my life. And the promise on my life is I'm going to be fruitful and multiply. That's the promise, that the God God-given promise. And my mindset is, I want it to be with the one that I love. But the one that I love is barren. And the one that I don't love, that I don't want, and I even hate, God has blessed her and opened up her womb. And she begins to have babies. Particularly, she begins to have boy babies. And the boy babies are the carriers of the divine blessing. Always has in this place. It is here. It is here. Leah, who is broken, she's hated, she's unwanted and unloved. She bears a son. She bears a son and she names him Reuben. Listen here, verse 32 of the text says, Leah conceives and bore a son and named him Reuben. And the word Reuben simply being translated means seed. The verse tells us that she names him Reuben because the Lord has seen her afflictions. But the bottom line is she's broken because she's unwanted, she's unloved, and she's hated. So even though she names him Reuben because God has seen her affliction, there is a man that is her husband that can't see her. So she names him Reuben in hopes that Jacob will see her. Look at me. How many broken people are hollering out, look at me, and they do things to get attention. Look at me. Look at what I'm going through. My oldest son, Sam, when he was in elementary school, would act out, Deacon Cornelius, just act out. And in talking with him and talking to the principal, who happened to be our church clerk, that was an interesting situation. My phone rang and I saw her name. I'm thinking, it's something about the church. She called me about my son. Sam would act out and he would just do crazy kind of stuff that you wouldn't even think of. He took a pair of scissors and cut little girl's hair off in class. I got to deal with this. But I realized that my son was at a point in his life where he didn't understand the difference between good attention and bad attention, or negative attention and positive attention. He thought going to the principal's office was a good thing because he was getting attention. It was that one-on-one thing. See, sometimes we can't really understand, we really can't translate our feelings, and so we cry out because we want somebody to pay attention to us. Leah is saying, yeah, God has seen me, but I really want Jacob to see me. I want to see that. I want to let him know that maybe I'm not my sister, maybe I'm not the attractive one, but I got something to offer that she can't. Look at me. Look at me. Reuben, look at me. See my affliction, my hurt. And God has seen it, but I need you to see it. Sometimes we feel that God seeing it is just not enough. We want those folk that are causing the pain and ignoring us. We want them to see. Broken but unblessed. Then she conceives again and bears a son and says, because the Lord had heard that I am unloved, he's therefore given me this son also, and she named him Simeon. She first says, look at me. Now she says, you got to hear me.
Teach, Clark.
Hear me. Hear what I've got to say. I got value in this relationship. Hear me cry. Hear my pain. Somebody gonna holler in here this morning. Hear me. I think it's interesting that in the Jewish culture, it is the woman that names the child. And here, she names the children because the name is supposed to reflect the destiny. The name is supposed to reflect what you see in the child, not as you look at them, but what they're going to be. And in this case, these children children are not reflections of what God is going to do, but the children are the manifestation of her current situation, her current pain, her current rejection, her current unlovedness, her current hatred. Look at me. Hear me. Then she conceives again and bears a son. And she, at this point, is so blatant. She says, now, this time, my husband will be joined or attached to me because I have borne him 3 sons. She names him Levi. Look. Look at me. Hear me.
Teach, Clark.
Be joined
Teach,
to me.
Clark.
Be attached to me. This is Leah's cry. I share with you that the fundamental primal need of every individual is to be wanted, needed, and connected to somebody or something.
All right now.
And that connectedness comes through what we feel we need to offer. Aren't you glad today that we don't have to offer anything for God to love us? I don't have to jump through any hoops. I don't have to holler and jump up and down. See me, look at me. I don't need to get God's attention. He loved me before I was even shaping in my mother's womb. I don't have to cry out to God. God, hear me. Because not only does he see, but God also knows. He hears. He understands what we're going through. But we really understand that for Leah, really wasn't about God seeing her. It really wasn't about God hearing her. But here in this third child, she comes out and says, I have a need and I want to be attached. I want to be connected to you, Jacob. I want you to love me like you love my sister. I want you to love me for who I am and what I have to offer. See, many of us are broken because we're looking for love and attachment in the wrong places. We're looking for certain people to love us and honor us and want to be with us and want to be connected to us to the point where we will do some unconventional things. We'll lie and say he is when he really ain't. Go ahead and say amen. Amen. Y'all watch Jerry Springer. The envelope, please. Looking, and Morgan too. Looking for this attachment. And if I got to do some things to make you love me, make you want me, I'll do it.
Teach.
We didn't do it in the church. The place where we're supposed to be loved regardless of what we have or have not to offer.
Amen.
But we don't get the attention of the pastor, or we don't get the attention of the ministries, and nobody selects us, nobody nominates us. We don't get the choice to be the soloist. We start acting out, lying on people and causing trouble because we're unloved and unwanted and disrespected. We start acting out, but God sees and God hears and God knows.